Good morning, everybody. This morning I have a question for you. If somebody asked you, what shape is your spiritual life? How would you answer it? You know, physical bodies have shapes, especially like women's body, they say is pear-shaped, apple-shaped, and there's just all these like different shapes of bodies. And so it really made me think about our spiritual lives, you see. What kind of a shape would you say that we are in right now? This morning, if you received bad news, perhaps news of the death of a loved one, or maybe it's about you losing the job, or you've been made redundant, or something is wrong with your home, anything that causes stress, how do we deal with it? And this morning, if you're not very sure of that answer, I want to point your attention to the life of Job. In Job chapter 10, verse 8, we read like this. Such a fascinating verse. Job is saying, "Your hands shaped me and made me. Will you now turn and destroy me?" It just really made me think. You know, we're all familiar with Job's story and the fact that he went through a really difficult time. But at the beginning of Job, we read about how much God loved him, what a righteous man he was. He lived a very faithful life. And then later on, we read about how, disaster struck his life. He lost all his cattle. He lost all his children. And every time he received this news, he began to feel like, ask God so many things. But when we reach chapter 10, and he says, "Your hands shaped me and made me," I got this picture in my mind. When things were good, God was shaping him in a particular way that when the problems landed on him, he could hold on. So this morning, I want to show you this illustration and ask you to think about how is the shape of your spiritual life. So with me, I have a piece of aluminum, and it's, as you can see, it's flat shaped. So I'm going to put it on top of the water. And then I'm going to put some weight on it, okay? So I've got some coin in the form of weight, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Oh, by the time the 6th coin reached the bit of aluminium foil, it has sunk. It can't hold any more weight. So keep that in your mind. That was 6 coins, okay? And then I took the same measurement of aluminium foil, but I shaped it in this way. So it's the same size, but it's only shaped in this way. I wanted to do it in front of you, but it just would take a lot of time. And then I'm going to show you if the same size is shaped in this way, how much more weight can it take? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So much more than what this size, this shape could hold. It really made me think that it's the only difference between these two bits of foil is the shape. So this particular boat shape could hold twice more weight than the flat-shaped one. And it really made me think about, Lord, what shape am I in? If I have to deal with the trials and the difficulties of this world, which we can't kind of run away from, what shape am I in, Lord? Am I going to be this boat-shaped or this flat shape that can't hold weight? That at the sight of a little bit of problems, am I going to sink in this in the trials of life, or am I going to be just held up And that's what Job said. Lord, you molded me. The Lord was molding him, obviously. It took stress, isn't it, to shape a flat bit of foil. It took time, it took stress on it, and it was shaped. But you see, even before the problems came, God knew that with this shape, Job would be able to hold on to all the difficulties that came. That's why, church, we read a lot about being clay and being molded. This is what it means. He's shaping us to deal with the test and the trials of life. So let me ask you again, what shape are you in your spiritual life this morning? Remember, if you are going through tough times, the Lord is shaping you so that you will not sink, but you will float. God bless you with that thought.